It's a reunion book.
Parker family reunion.
Granddad would be a part of history out here in New Zealand. He would have been the first Antiguan living here.
Hey everybody, Global Gyal, yay! So I just wanted to give you all a heads up about this next video. I recorded it in 2018 where I sat down with somebody in New Zealand, but it was the first time I ever did an interview. So I just have to give you all that warning and that disclaimer. But it's such a crucial interview because it's the one that really kind of stuck with me and was like, yo, you gotta find the Caribbean people because these stories are amazing. So anyways, we're jumping right in back to 2018. Please meet Nari from New Zealand. Global Gyal, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, good, thanks, bye.
So I'll introduce myself. And
Yes, introduce yourself.
I'll start saying kia ora. My name is Nari Jones. I'm born in New Zealand and I live in New Zealand, and I am the granddaughter of Samuel Parker from Antigua. My grandfather was born in Antigua in St John, grew up there till the age of 11. His father was a baker, and he decided he didn't want to be a baker.
Okay.
And he watched the ships coming in and out of the harbour and sort of dreamt of faraway places. He hung around the wharf to find out different, about the boat, the ships, and he stowed away on a ship at 11.
He ran away at 11.
And left his family behind. He earned money singing and dancing, and he learnt 7 different languages, and he travelled the world on board these ships for 30 odd years. He came to New Zealand on board. It was his second trip here, and by that time he was in his early 40s. And decided that this was where he wanted to live. He was born in 1876. He would have left Antigua in 1888, 87. It would be early 1900s, 1910 maybe, when he came to New Zealand. My grandfather's family had no idea where he was, what had happened to him, when he ran away.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather had an English passport, he joined the army.
The New Zealand Army.
The New Zealand Army in the First World War. He would have also been the only Negro, I would think, in the New Zealand Army at that time. My understanding is that he ended up in jail in Wellington, probably for, I don't know what for, drunkenness or let's just say, but possibly not, with a Māori guy. Māoris are Indigenous New Zealanders.
Okay, yeah.
Who was from the east coast of New Zealand. And this gentleman said, come home with me, and took him to Gisborne. He met and fell in love with a Maori girl called Medea Tipere. That was the beginning of us. So we are descendants of that line, the Parker Tipere family. So he had 8 children, including my mother. So he had 8 children. Those 8 children had 38. So that made 38 grandchildren. 70 great-grandchildren. And now we'd be into the great-great, which I have no idea.
These would all be a combination of the Antiguan and the Māori who had a family here in New Zealand. 38 grandchildren, 70 plus great-grandchildren, and now great-great-grandchildren are all spread out essentially between New Zealand and Australia.
It's a real unusual combination. Back in those days, there would not have been a Māori married to an Antiguan. He never went back to Antigua. My mother looked after him in his last year here. He went blind, and when he went blind, Mum used to write his letters for him, and he knew of his sister Cecilia, and so Mum was writing to her and kept in touch with her, and that's kind of where we reconnected. Growing up, I didn't know what I was, you know. We had curly hair,
Yeah.
you know, and sort of wondering where that had come from. I fitted into the Maori world, but I didn't know
that you had that side of it.
But then when we sort of found out through Mum's research that we were part Antiguan, sort of opened up the world to us. In New Zealand, family trees, it's called whakapapa. So it's more in the Māori world, are really important that you know where you've come from. On my grandmother's side, so the Maori side, I can go right back to the first canoes that came to New Zealand that migrated from the Pacific to New Zealand. So I can go right back with my whakapapa family tree on her side, but had nothing. Nothing on our grandfather's side.
Yes.
So no, it was very important. Mum went to 2 or 3 different reunions in the States and in Antigua, and so she brought a lot of information back on who, family was. And then I just decided that I wanted to go to Antigua.
Yeah.
So before I've been, my mother has been twice, and my daughter Jolene has been once. When I travelled, it was important to me to find and meet as many family as I could to fill those gaps in the family tree. But there's still an awful lot out there that I haven't met. I want another reunion. Another reunion.
Yeah.
Would be awesome.
How were you treated when you arrived? Like this person from New Zealand who approached each other like, New Zealand, where is that? And they told your cousins.
Wonderful. I mean, and when I went to Antigua, I did a rum cruise, reggae and rum.
On what that
Naughty Nairi came out. And I've always said to my friends, whatever you do, don't give me rum and play reggae music. Your blood is in your spirit, you know. Reggae music is large in New Zealand, and sense of rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, music and rhythm, and the Maori culture is full of rhythm too.
Reunion book that was compiled. How important do you think this is?
Well, these are our bonds. We look different to just a Māori.
Yeah.
And when I looked through the reunion book at the photos, I could see family members and the resemblance of us here to them over there.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I mean, now that we've made, we'll never break that connection.
Yeah.
It's family, and it's amazing when you meet family. There's that instant bond, regardless. You don't know each other, but you feel like you've known each other all your life.
So that means essentially there have been at least one West Indian here since the beginning of the 19th century.
Yeah. Granddad would be a part of history out here in New Zealand. It would not have been an Antiguan living here. He would have been the first Antiguan living here.
Yeah.
As I say, the combination of Maori and Negro is really unheard of. Or would have been, it's more common now.
There is a West Indian Association of New Zealand. I can't remember if you were aware of that.
No, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
So I would say anyone watching this from anywhere, not from New Zealand, I'm open to contact. I like to meet and greet, and my house is always open, my door's always open, there's always a bed. Yeah, reach out.
I would just like to say thank you so much, Nari. This is like, I can already just envision my aunties and my uncles like, what? This is so cool. Like, just from because all the information you gave was so great. Your grandfather, or did he pass away before?
No, he passed away before I was born, but he was alive when my older sister was born.
Okay.
So the other thing I still need to do is look for my grandfather's war records.
In New Zealand?
Yeah. In the New Zealand Army.
Okay, the great grandfather. That is Antiguan.
Yeah.
Yeah.